Hi, my name is Blair, and I've been a below-the-knee amputee for over 20 years. In the past 22 years working with new amputees, working as an intensive care nurse, telling them and showing them what they'll be able to do when they get the right setup, it's phenomenal. I don't miss my leg as much as I thought I would. For me, one of the biggest disadvantages with other products is the degree to which I break them. I do a lot of remote backcountry travel, from climbing in Glacier National Park to backpacking through Cuba to hiking the jungles in Costa Rica. My wife is from Peru, so we've climbed the Andes Mountains and done the Inca Trail. I cannot be close to a prosthetician all the time. I have to have field serviceable, field repairable, or just simply parts that won't break. I have broken every component of every leg I've ever had, almost always in an outdoor environment or in the urban environment, carrying 80-pound bags of cement, 40-pound bags of shingles up a ladder. It's my leg, I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna not live my life due to hardware. One of the things that captured my interest about the Rush foot, this being something new that exists in the market, is simplicity. Since I have tried the most complicated feet and the most user participatory, I've got to adjust this and I've got to add the air pressure and I've got to watch this, I don't need that. I got other things to do. I need hardware that doesn't have to be in the forefront of my mind. But I don't want to have to think that, oh, well, now that I'm in this terrain, I've got to adjust these screws. And when I first heard about this foot and heard that it was a new material, well, I've broken all the carbon fiber out there, so I need new. When I heard it might be lighter than the other stuff that's out there, at least in the lighter category, I'm all for it. And that it didn't have bolts drilled all through it and hinges and all these complicated parts, I was all over it. Simpler, more functional, smoother, less parts, these were all wins in my categories. Just spent a week in Baja. That gave me rocks, sand, big pebbles, boulders, lifting heavy weight. The foot was always stable, and that's something my previous feet haven't had. They've had a good toe or a good heel, but not a good base for lifting heavy weight. This foot performed very well in the sand due to how nice and light it was and how it didn't require a lot of loading. It was flexible. It adapted to these alternating environments underneath. And from rocks the size of grapefruit set in concrete so you have to walk over them, to large gravelly that you could lose your balance on. You know, I have found with my previous feet that when I'm in an outdoor environment, I have to give my prosthetic a field regimen. Every couple of days I've got to take air and blow out all the stuff that's gritted inside. I have to maybe wash things, because if I don't, the carbon fiber will just degrade. This foot, I decided to give it a 7-day no-touch test. Can I go, which was 2 to 3 times what I could ever do in the past. I wanted to see if I could not blow the sand out, if I could not, and it was never an issue. Number one, it didn't accumulate very much. Number two, it didn't have places for the sand to get trapped between moving components. And what sand did get in there was able to flow away because there's open channels and there's no tight interferences in the foot. So I never felt the grindy grittiness that I would feel in my other foot. For me, the Rush foot by Ability Dynamics captures it all. It gives me a nice soft heel, it doesn't wear me out, it rolls smoothly over the center of the foot and gives me the energy return through the toe. I don't have to think about my foot. And that's what makes a difference for me. When I have things going on at the hospital or in the outdoors, I don't want to have to think about my prosthetic, I want it to work. And the Rush foot by Ability Dynamics, it just works. My name's Blair, and I never thought I could find a foot I couldn't break. 20 plus years of being an amputee, broken everything else I've ever been given. The Rush foot by Ability Dynamics, it's working for me. It's working at work, 12-hour shifts, it's working in the middle of Baja with no backup support. The Rush foot by Ability Dynamics is making a difference in my life. You need to try it too.